is in the know for Wednesday, July 27th, the 208th day of 2022. There are 157 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app, using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we will update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Get ready for more rain moving through the area today. We need it. We'll tell you about how much we'll get. And we'll have today's water cooler question. It will be your chance to win. Prove you're the smartest person around the water cooler. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty well. We were talking about, we were casually talking about books yesterday. Mm-hmm. You've been on the big summer reading program.
Yeah.
Do you, I think I know the answer to this, do you pick up books or magazines thinking you'll read them, but then you don't?
No.
Like, you seem to be, if you get a book, you seem to be committed at that point.
Even if I don't care for it.
So you also mentioned Sudoku yesterday.
Yes.
And I learned just in the last 24 hours that if you're a person who picks up books or magazines thinking you'll read them, but they just sit on your desk, that's the practice of Sundoku. Not Sudoku, but soon, like S-U-N, doku. But you don't practice that, right?
I do not.
You
No.
pick a book, you're
Yes.
committed.
Even if I don't care for it, I will finish it.
I got it. You're dedicated. Over there in chair number 2, we say good morning and welcome back to Grayson County Ag Agent, Miss Whitney Carmen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
I'm glad to be
Good
here.
to see you. I'm sorry I was absent last week.
That's okay.
And but glad you're here, and more importantly, glad you're not at jury duty today.
I know, right?
Hopefully we're more fun than that.
Yes.
I would also take it as an example, as a testament. You are here today, which means you did not win Mega Millions last night.
I'm really disappointed that I did not. But I guess you have to play to win.
I do
exactly.
think you have to own a ticket, but last night was $790 million. But now the next drawing, which I presume will be this weekend, will be, the number will start with a B.
I know.
As in, it'd be over $1 billion, which will be, I think, the third highest lottery in American history. But you think you'll pick up a ticket
I might.
for this weekend?
I might. And if I'm not here next week, y'all know where I'm at.
We'll know why. Well, it could go either way. You could either be at Travel Ball, or you could be at spending your new $1 billion.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. I think that I would like to think that if I were to win it, I would give away a whole lot of it, and I would still try to, as you saw the meme, it says, people won't know if I've won, but there will be signs, and it was like the big old piece of baloney. That's kind of where I'm
There'll be some speculation,
Yeah.
at least. Hey, so I heard you all talking professionally about Master Gardener before the show. I also have a selfish question before I forget.
Okay.
Those soil testers that you buy that you stick in the ground that have the
probes?
prongs, can they be relied upon? Or do I need to bring soil to you?
You need
tell
to
me?
bring soil to me.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought it maybe was one of those tricks, because I saw it, like, you can just stick it in the soil sample and it tells you,
It'll
like,
give
gives
you
you
a
reader.
roundabout, but I would rely on the science of our soil sample or our soil techniques at the lab. So please
Okay.
send it in.
All right, very good. I won't trust something as seen on TV that you see. I'll trust you with my soil samples. Hey, Rounds, I know you raised your hands. You were raising the roof when I mentioned rain,
Yes.
because you and the people you represent are desperately in need of rain, and we may see some localized flooding, may see some heavy rain. We're under a flood watch technically until 7 o'clock tonight. Rounds of rain are going to continue through Friday morning. Now, more specifically, I believe Grayson County to be in the southwestern corner of the potential flood watch area. I think areas east of I-65 are more likely to get what I'm calling today the St. Louis rain. If you've seen the news in the last 24 hours and you see what happened in St. Louis and Missouri, and you know it's moving our way, it is more likely to occur east of I-65 to where the flooding might go. But that means that Grayson County may potentially be in the sweet spot where we get some heavy downpours, but we get it at a rate that we might be able to retain it rather than it just hit the ground and run off. Because, Whitney, I presume we need long soaking rains to really be beneficial.
Yeah, we really do. And I think I've got a friend that's in St. Louis, and they showed pictures of how quick that came. And so, those rains, while I'm glad that we get them, they just kind of run off. And so we need something that's going to soak the ground.
They eventually end up in the lakes, and that they can be beneficial in ways after you get through the pains of the flooding. But our farmers and our landscapes and our lawns need long, slow soaking rains. They need the soaker hose for several days to really be able to retain that water. I also think it's already clouded up this morning after a few brief areas of sunshine a couple of hours ago. I believe late morning into early afternoon to be the majority of the rainfall today here in our neck of the woods. Scattered thunderstorms, 60% chance today, a high of 88. Thunderstorms, rain chance at 70%, and 73 overnight, 86 tomorrow is the anticipated high. And we'll have a cold front move through on Friday, then basically at least a chance of rain through next Wednesday. So if you don't get some today, probably get some tomorrow. If you don't get some tomorrow, you might get some on Saturday. We'll try to get everybody a little soaking rain. Today, we are supposed to get more news on the American economy. U.S. economy continues to send mixed signals, and it's confusing. The U.S. economy is caught in an awkward, painful place, and it's confusing. Growth appears to be sputtering. Home sales are tumbling, and economists warn of a potential recession ahead. And just like I said yesterday or day before, the White House is going to try to redefine what recession is, and they did. They sent one of those guys with an easel and a pointer yesterday and said, well, 2 quarters of a downturn is not technically a recession. No, but that's the agreed upon definition that we've been dealing with for years and years and years. So no matter what you want to call it, it is concerning, and the Fed is hoping to pull off what I saw described as the triple axle of central banking. Figure skaters say they pulled off the triple axle. It's not easy to do. They're trying to slow the economy just enough to curb inflation without causing a recession. And many economists doubt the Fed can manage that, which is kind of a soft landing is what they're trying to describe it as. So keep our fingers crossed. Yesterday in Washington, it was the return to Washington for POTUS 45. It was Donald Trump's first visit to Washington, D.C. since he left there in January of 2021. There were in this deepening rivalry between he and former Vice President Mike Pence. They each gave speeches in Washington yesterday at 2 different bodies in different locations. Vice President Pence trying to encourage people to move on. Former President Trump trying to dwell in the past as much as possible. Really playing the martyr card even more so, especially in light of the recent January 6th deals. I have seen some interesting polling. There are a group of Republicans that want Trump back and hope that nothing but Trump 2024 happens. I, again, like to point out, voted for Donald Trump twice, didn't caucus for him. I didn't vote for him in the Republican primary, but 2 opportunities to vote for him for president, I did. But I will tell you, I hope Donald Trump is not the only Republican who can do some of the leadership things that Donald Trump did as president. And so I am ready to move on. Show me someone who can lead with similar principles, but show me someone who is more genuine than I believe him to be. I understand you may differ. You may think that everything he says is 100% truth with 100% candor. I believe that to be hogwash. There are just some things he wants us to believe he is that I just know is you're not that. You're not a conservative Christian.
Right.
No matter what you want to tell me you are, you're not a conservative Christian. But I do on defense, on economic policy, on all those things. But Donald Trump didn't invent those things.
Right.
Right? Those are principles that other people, that's a playbook that other people can run. And by the way, this is not a bring me Mike Pence. I'm not necessarily for Mike Pence. I'm just ready. I would rather move forward rather than dwell in the past. Looking forward to 2024, Russia says they're out of the International Space Station.
I saw that.
After 2024, which in my simple mind, I hear that and go, oh, great. We're going to have to change the locks.
Or is it more of are they going to do different things?
They're going to do their own.
NASA is doing their thing.
Well, NASA says we can operate this by ourselves for a while, but then it makes you wonder, well, who are we going to partner with someone else? This is a post-Cold War era partnership. After the Cold War, even though the tensions between the countries have been escalated at various times and they've been more docile at various times, it has always kind of been like, well, in space, we seem to get along. Until now, because Russia says, well, if you're gonna throw sanctions at us, we can't be your friends in space. And we were like, well, if you're going to attack Ukraine, we don't want to live with you on the International Space Station. Camp out over.
Yeah.
Go get your own treehouse to play in.
Well, and
so
aren't they
are
going to focus on some different things? I think we're trying to get to Mars, and I think we're trying to go back to the moon and all of that. So, it should be interesting.
They're going to try to build their own space station, and then they'll try to weaponize it, and then we'll try to weaponize the ISS that we have right now. And this is just the space race. This is just the next rounds of exploration, and that's just likely going to happen. But does anybody know a locksmith that works in outer space? I don't. Because we can't.
They're smart enough. Our people are smart enough. They can figure it out.
They might give us their keys.
Yeah.
But I don't trust they didn't go to Future Designs and have a key made.
Yeah.
Copy ones. We're going to keep one back
in case.
Before we turn these in. A Litchfield woman has been injured in a single vehicle accident on Brandenburg Road. It happened overnight. About 1 o'clock, LPD, EMS, GCSO, LFD responded to 1017 Brandenburg Road. They found a Ford Focus being driven by 47-year-old Jill Clemens, left the roadway, traveled into a ditch line, and briefly on a sidewalk before striking a culvert. She was transported to Owensboro Health Twin Lakes with non-life-threatening injuries. A Hodgenville man has been charged in the overdose death of a man he allegedly sold drugs to. The Nelson County Sheriff's Office says that deputies on Saturday responded to a residence on Leslie Clark Road. It's near New Haven. They found 37-year-old James Boone deceased. He had died of a drug overdose. Then on Monday, they developed information that led the Greater Hardin County Narcotics Task Force to obtain a search warrant for a residence in New Haven, where they found 42-year-old Michael Downs, the person who they believe sold Boone the drugs that he overdosed on. They finally did arrest him. He was detained, interviewed, and arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter. I don't know how often this happens where you're able to charge someone who sold lethal drugs to someone who overdosed and died and charge them with manslaughter. But my guess is it's something that we look for ways to deter drug dealers and drug traffickers. I would think manslaughter and potential, murder charges could potentially at least give some people some pause, or at least you would hope. ECTC's respiratory care program was recognized by the Commission on Accreditation for Respiratory Care, their friends call it COARC, to receive the President's Award for Excellence in Credentialing Success. In March last year, ECTC's respiratory care program successfully achieved its second re-accreditation since the program started in 2009 and implemented an 18-month completion status in the spring of 2022 and have been rewarded for their efforts. So congratulations to them for the accolades they are receiving. I don't know about you, but the last several weeks I have enjoyed seeing gasoline prices go down, and I hear the how low can you go? How low can you go?
Still high though compared.
They are. Yeah. 365 is a number I saw, a walking around number as I call it yesterday. I don't know if that's, across the community. I don't know. I saw yesterday 365. Which is a long way from, I never paid $5
no
or more. I have, but recently, and it wasn't here, but it never went, I never saw it go any of the places that I traveled above $4.99. It crept up there, and I think the most I paid was about $4.92, and that was near Sparta, Kentucky. And so, but since then, it's kind of subsided, and it's fallen back to 365, and it makes you wonder, well, 6 straight weeks prices have fallen. They believe they will fall for the 7th week. There's nothing that predictors think right now can change that, because oil is still trading below $100 a barrel. which means that for the seventh week, prices should continue to fall just a bit. Now, depending upon this economic news, if the economy, it's weird, if the economy is still good, oil may rally and go above $100 a barrel, and so you may see gasoline prices tick back up. But if the economic news that we're getting this week is bad, you may still see oil trade further below $100 a barrel. Also, keep an eye on the tropics. When hurricane season ramps up, you get tropical storms that move through, and they have to scuttle operations on the drilling platforms. That's one thing. Okay, temporary, they evacuate people. They didn't get any damage. They go back online. But pay attention to the Gulf Coast, because when storms hit the Gulf Coast and damage refineries, it's got to go from the drilling platform. It's got to come inland to the refinery. It's got to get in a pipeline or on a truck and find its way to your gasoline tank somehow. So you want to keep an eye on all of the various checkpoints in the supply chain for gasoline, and all of those things can be disruptors. So pray for a quiet late summer and early fall in the Gulf of Mexico.
It's been quiet so far. So I don't know. We'll see.
I hope you didn't just...
I hope I didn't either, because listen, I'm taking a trip in October, so I hope it stays.
Good. I'm going to ask you about vacation planning next segment, so I'm looking forward to your input. Charles Booker apparently will be the only Democrat speaking at Fancy Farm next month.
Interesting.
The governor had already sent regrets for he and the First Lady, because they're going to Israel on a mission trip. So...
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. I think before life on Earth is complete, I'd like to go to that part of the world as well.
Me as well.
Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, she has bowed out. She got something else that's going on with her, but she says she will be in Western Kentucky in early August to talk about some of the great things that Team Kentucky are doing. That one sounds a little bit like a dodge. But I also don't blame them, because there are just so many Republicans vying for certain things. This is the season of the Republican primary. Charles Booker is not going to defeat Rand Paul, but I admire him willing to go and stand up there and deliver his message, and I think that's wonderful. But also, it's very hard to find, if you outside of the governor and lieutenant governor. I mean, Morgan McGarvey is going to get the seat that John Yarmouth is leaving, but the congressional delegation, except for soon-to-be Morgan McGarvey, is Republican. All the constitutional officers are Republicans, and so there's just not a lot to get overly excited about at Fancy Farm, except for those people who are jockeying for the upper hand in the Republican gubernatorial primary. So we'll see. But Charles Booker will be there. If you're on Team Booker, make your way to Fancy Farm. Whitney, a quarter horse is what? A fourth of a thoroughbred?
Yes.
Is that?
I think that's right.
I kind of stabbed at that, but
I think that's right.
Part of me told me that's right.
I don't know. I'll have to go back to my animal science book.
They are building does your animal science book have some dust on it?
Collected
a little dust?
A little bit, but I use it more than you think.
Okay. Well, that's good. In your line of work, I would hope so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to refer to the manual. I like that. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission has awarded a license for a new facility with plans to offer quarter horse racing in the state. Revolutionary Racing will build in Ashland and feature an American quarter horse sprint racing track and a historical horse racing facility. Okay, so... By the way, so a sprint track, this means straight line racing. This is not oval racing.
Right.
This is your old timey, this is your drag racing of old days. Before you would line up your two Mustangs.
That's right.
You would line up your Mustangs
That's
and you
right.
would race to see which one could outrun the other one.
Right.
So they're going to build a sprint track.
It is yeah.
So they're going to build a sprint track. Mm-hmm. That will, I would imagine, run seasonally or like Friday nights, or you all have the drag strip over in Brett County.
We do, and I hear it every weekend.
They may run on Friday nights and Saturday nights, but really what this is about the parlor, right? They want the historical racing game parlor that will run 7 days a week for long hours, and then they will run their sprint races seasonally, and they think that's an easier sell in Boyd County.
Well, and the quarter part of it is that, and I think a someone commented about it, and it's true. They can run a quarter mile faster than most horses, I think. So
Gotcha.
yeah, they're known for their sprinting. I don't know. Quarter horses are if I'm gonna choose a horse, those are my favorite.
Isn't that the most common here in Kentucky? I mean,
Well, yes.
your people, if you have a horse on your farm, isn't it more likely a quarter horse?
or some sort. Yeah.
I don't have any
breed.
family members with thoroughbreds.
I don't either. And I think a lot of my friends that had horses, they either had the quarter horses or the ones they used for the barrels and the poles and the those types of activities. And I don't know anything about the horse industry, so I'm not the person to ask. But those are my favorite if I'm going to get one.
Your facial expression changed when I said I don't have family members that have thoroughbreds. Is that not true?
It is not true.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, I mean, yes.
You'll tell me during the break?
They're family by proxy.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, so.
I don't have any family that has thoroughbreds.
But not necessarily racing thoroughbreds. They're thoroughbreds, but not necessarily
some
racing
have been.
thoroughbreds. Okay, all right.
Now,
all right.
one of my best friends, her husband and her own a thoroughbred, but
Really?
they're not family.
Maybe one of these days I can get in. I can be like a 128th owner of a racing thoroughbred, so I can go to owner's circle at Churchill
Yeah.
Downs and be like highfalutin and all that stuff. So there you go. All right, I think you're all caught up. We got plenty more on the way though. Hang around here on In the Know.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. And as your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we know our community isn't just important, it's everything. Which is why we're grateful for your trust to provide the energy you need every day. Because for us, there's nothing more important than giving you the power to power on.
The power of human connections with Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
At Leggett & Platt, joining the team means when you work a week, you get paid for a week. And since there's only one shift, you work days and know when you work. Production trainees now start at $16.60 per hour, but with incentives, you'll work to around $18 an hour. So you can make nearly $18 an hour as a production trainee, and at the end of the week, you get paid. You have bills to pay, a family to raise, and responsibilities to live up to. So get paid weekly and work a consistent schedule at Leggett & Platt on Ed Embry Drive in Litchfield. Apply in person or online. An equal opportunity employer.
We sell the best and fix the rest.
For new appliances at great prices, shop My Father's House in Clarkson. My Father's House has been a name you trust for great values on great brand names and appliances. Now during the cash and carry sale, get an Amana washer and dryer set for only $900 or a 21 cubic foot Whirlpool refrigerator for only $775.
We sell the best and fix the rest.
See Danny at My Father's House Monday through Friday from 10 to 2 on East Main Street, Clarkson.
Hear that music? It can only mean breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. Imagine a folded egg, 2 slices of cheese, plus your choice of a steak patty, bacon, or sausage, all in a toasted bagel. That's right, the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, and sausage, egg, and cheese bagels are all back, but only for a limited time at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start August 15th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Homeowners, especially on the lake, have most likely experienced or will experience water erosion on their properties. There is a solution and preventative measures that can protect against this type of erosion. With the help of products and service from Scotty's Contracting and Stone, Crushed Rock Road enhancements can provide erosion control and shoreline protection. Well-designed and maintained erosion control helps ensure that today's beautiful and safe landscapes remain so tomorrow. To discuss erosion control and shoreline restoration solutions with Scotty's Contracting, call 270-259-5696.
Facebook parent company Meta is increasing the price of its Quest 2 virtual reality headset by $100. Starting next month, the 128 gigabyte version will retail for $399, and the 256 gigabyte version will go for $499. This comes as the company deals with pressures brought on by record inflation. However, they frame the price hike primarily as an investment in moving the VR industry forward. The announcement came a day before the company is going to release its second quarter earnings results. Microsoft's earnings came in below expectations and its revenue growth is closing. The company reported about $51.9 billion in revenue, but analysts were looking for just below $52.5 billion, the company blaming bad foreign exchange rates for hurting its revenue. And Google so far has allotted $128 million of a larger pledge for affordable housing 3 years ago. The search giant promised to invest $250 million for affordable housing out of a total of a $1 billion housing commitment. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield.
Today is Scotch Day. Not Scotch tape. The other kind of Scotch. It's Take Your Houseplants for a Walk Day today. Did you load up your gorilla cart? You can take your houseplants for a walk?
Maybe some of the smaller ones would fit in there, but you've seen these monsters.
It's Chicken Finger Day today. You do have some monster houseplants. It's Chicken Finger Day today, and it is also Bagpipe Appreciation Day today. Now, I tried to soften the blow a little bit by getting bagpipes playing We Will Rock You by Queen. Does that make you like the bagpipes any better?
I don't.
They don't bother me.
I mean, for any length of time, they would break my nerves. Bad.
Yeah, I swear to love them, but I think my love for them would be a little bit short-lived.
I mean, I like the skirts and all. But that's
well,
about
I was
it.
going to say, I mean, we listen to, like, there's some groups that have them, like, they're the Irish. We listen to them around St. Patrick's Day, but that's about the only time we listen to them.
That's right. They're not a 12-month-a-year instrument.
No.
I think they're a seasonal instrument, but that's like, I say that about a lot of things. I love Zydeco for about 2 minutes.
Yes,
like, but
when
then
you're
it
in
gets
New
old.
Orleans, that's, in that area. Yeah.
Right. There's a time and place
Now,
for everything.
Listen, my grandmother can get back. That's her favorite music. She loves New Orleans and loves being, loves
that's cool.
that genre, and she loves it.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I love mariachi bands,
but not for a very long time.
but only while I'm eating guacamole and chips. I just after that, I don't want to hear them.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear them like 24 hours a day. You mentioned travel. You've got big travel plans, and at least you're daydreaming about travel?
Well, I wouldn't call it big dreams, but we are going to take a little trip, I think, during fall break.
Are you the vacation planner of the household?
Are you kidding me? Yes.
Yeah,
Actually, I say
presumed.
that.
But
I am, but my husband is very good at planning trips. Whenever he gets the idea that he wants to do it, he's the one that will say, "Hey, let's go next weekend," and I'm like, "Ooh, I gotta plan it out," So
I see.
I have to do the planning. He has the idea, and I have to plan it.
So he's the spontaneous traveler, and
for
you're the
sure.
long game traveler. A new survey says Americans are better vacation planners than the British. Oh, well, yeah, for one, they got it wrong. They call it holiday. No, holidays are Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and
Yes.
vacation is vacation. But they say, "Oh, I'm on holiday."
I kind of like that.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What if I started using that?
you'd fit in well. I mean, I am the person who wants to answer the phone as ahoy, so I can see where calling it vacation or calling it holiday would be okay.
kinda cool.
Interesting. American vacationers claim they wouldn't dream of packing the night before. 63% admit to doing exactly that compared to 57% of British tourists. And British tourists are far more laid back on holiday than Americans are on vacation. Are you a night before packer or a day of packer?
My son leaves for church camp today, and I've been packing his backpack for a week. So
I start
there's
about a
your
week
answer.
out.
It sounds familiar.
There's your answer.
I can usually set my calendar. Look, we're traveling in 14 days, so 4 days from now, the luggage will come out and get scattered various places around the house.
It's true.
It just
I also
it just
am a
happens.
chronic overpacker.
Oh, me too.
And I hate it. I have tried to pare down from years past, but now that I have a toddler, it's crept back up.
That's where the last minute gets me. So I do well. I start out a week ahead of time and I do well. But then it gets down to crunch time, like zipping it up. And I think, oh, but what if I need this?
Yes.
Or, oh, what if I need that? Or, oh. And it gets
my husband's
overstuffed.
like, there's a store where we're going. If you need something, we can get it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, you have this tendency, not just you, I think I certainly have it, but maybe yours is a little more pronounced. As the lid to the suitcase is closing, you start kind of knocking things
Get it all in
like
there.
at the store, knocking things into the shopping cart, like, oh, it's falling in there. Will it zip? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
So oftentimes he will ask us, like in the vehicle after we've,
Already
gotten
started?
Yeah, got down the road just a little bit. He was like, does everybody have everything that we cannot buy once we get there?
Well,
But if you're going to somewhere like Disney World, you can have that stuff Amazoned in. So, I
Yes.
mean, there really is nothing
Right.
that, now, unless you're going out in the middle of nowhere.
guilty,
now, that's not
guilty
where we're
is
going.
charged
Yes.
Yeah.
in that regard.
Yeah.
If you want maybe a new location that I'll bet you've never been to add to your, this would probably be a driving trip. Chestnut Hill, Tennessee is now home to the Bush Beans Visitor Center, and they have the world's most beautiful bean museum
Okay.
at the Bush's Visitor Center in Chestnut Hill, Tennessee. I didn't realize Bush Beans, I didn't knew they had a dog as their mascot. And I knew they say that's roll that beautiful bean footage. Like I know that slogan, but I didn't realize they had ties to Tennessee.
I didn't either. It's kind of like your Mountain Dew place, too.
Right.
It's another one of those.
You could
do the
check
tour.
it off your list. You could do the double, or a lot of us drive to the Panhandle to for our beach vacations, different times of the year. You could just detour through Chestnut Hill to the world's most beautiful bean museum. Although I would caution you on the samples. It's a long way to the beach from Chestnut Hill, Tennessee. You might want to, unless maybe roll the windows partial the way down on your way down I-65
Hope it's not raining.
until you get to 231 or 331 or whichever route that you may take. Yesterday we learned that the sad news that the Choco Taco is being retired. Whitney, had you learned this?
I had heard that, and a friend of mine posted that, they're like, well, haven't had this since 2007, but I'm still offended that they're getting rid of it.
I don't even know what it is.
You don't know the Choco Taco?
Yeah.
So
Pretty good.
it's made by Klondike, and Klondike, instead of just their Klondike bar, they've got a Choco Taco, which it's
Waffle cone.
ice cream wrapped in a waffle cone, fashioned like a taco, shaped like a taco, and then I think at least half of it is dipped in chocolate, so it's got kind of an open end, and so it's pretty good. But we learned that Klondike says they're on the Choco Taco, and I don't understand why.
It's the waffle.
See, I
Because
don't,
if they're still making their Klondike bars, they've still got the chocolate and the ice cream. It must be something with the waffle cone. They've got to.
Well, so that begs the list of the 10 best ice cream treats from a truck. Now, I mentioned a couple of days ago,
I know what mine is.
I don't think of I mentioned that I think of, when I hear the ice cream truck music, I think of Eddie Murphy because of Raw, because we didn't have ice cream trucks. The closest thing to ice cream trucks we had was going to the ballpark, and whatever ice cream they had in the concession stand, that was the closest thing we got, because out in the rural parts, the ice cream truck just didn't come by, and you certainly couldn't stop in the middle of the road. So there's what the Choco
there it is.
Taco looks
Okay.
like.
I've never seen those.
Okay, so it's going away. Klondike says, what would you do for a Choco Taco? Nothing, because you're not going to get one, so eat the Klondike bar. The 10 best ice cream treats from a truck ranked at 10, the snow cone.
Yeah.
Snow cone, pretty traditional. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Cook Ranch shaved ice gives you your best version. At number 9, the Fudge Pop. Again, kind of simple, straightforward. Fudge Pop, nothing fancy about it. Here, have your Fudge Pop. You know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
We both agree. We all agree on those. That's okay.
Yeah.
At number 8, the chocolate eclair bar.
Is that the thing that's covered in
Like toffee or
it's
something?
Yeah, no, it's
You'll-
I know what
Like
it
a
looks. I
crumble?
know what it
No, I
is.
don't want to ruin it,
Yeah,
but its
crumble.
strawberry sibling is on the list later.
Oh,
So it's on a stick,
okay.
and you got the
Yeah.
strawberry on the outside. Well, this is just chocolate instead. So
It's the crumble.
it's an eclair. Mhm.
Okay.
At number 7, the King Cone.
Is that like the
It's a
drumstick?
combo of vanilla, the sugariest cone you'll find, the frozen chocolate topping, and peanut drizzle is a great combo. Yeah, so this is what we know regionally as the drumstick, which I'm a big fan of. Love
My kids like
drumsticks.
those. Yeah.
Now, I do like the ones. I like the ones that are rounded on top. I won't pass on the ones that are just flattened, where you peel the top off and then it's in
In the
the
cone.
cylinder. Well, in the
Oh, yeah.
cylindrical one, and you roll it away. I do like the rounded top of the actual drumstick brand. At number 6, the strawberry shortcake bar from Good Humor.
I do like those.
I know a 6-year-old, she loves strawberry, but then when you hand her the strawberry bar, she says, because it's
She will
real
not-
strawberry.
She will not touch
She
that.
wants the strawberry
Nope.
flavoring. She doesn't want the
Strawberry.
Now, to be clear, I don't mind the strawberry shortcake bar being on there. I'm not a real
I like that one.
fruit is ice cream kind of guy. Like, ice cream's kind of ice cream. Fruit needs to be on its own list. The firecracker pop,
That's yeah.
red, white, and blue popsicle, summer classic. Not much says summer like the firecracker. The Klondike bar is at number 4, or any other chocolate-coated ice cream bar. At number 3, the Choco Taco. So Klondike's got the number 4 and the number 3 entries. At number 2, straight up ice cream sandwich.
I knew it was going to be up there.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
so
so I don't eat ice cream. Like, rarely.
I don't eat it often.
this week you do.
But I have been craving vanilla ice cream, so I got ice cream sandwiches, and I've actually had 2 for dinner the other night.
Hey, well,
so-
I mean, sometimes you gotta live your life.
And at number 1,
Oh, is it what I think it is?
the Chipwich.
Oh no.
So the Chipwich it's ice cream.
The push pop's not on there.
That's exactly the one I was thinking.
The orange push pop,
Right?
Ice
The
cream.
Flintstone push
Yes,
pop.
that's the one I would have
Take
thought.
your list.
It's chocolate chip cookies.
No,
It's ice cream.
No.
It's both in a
No.
sandwich.
No.
From
I was
Grandmama
so going.
Toulouse.
Yes,
Nope.
I was so going with the push
I
pop
thought
as
it was
well.
gonna be the push pop.
Grandmama's Toulouse Chipwich. So good. Especially when you're standing on Main Street at Disney World and they hand you one of those. It's a little bit soft, but really good. Sorry about the push pop. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. The water cooler question is coming up here on In the Know.
The Lumineers Brightside World Tour. Bringing their energetic live show to Louisville August 31st at KFC Yum Center. Multi-platinum selling artist, The Lumineers. With special guest, James Bay. The Lumineers pick up their new album, Brightside, out now. Tickets on sale now, online at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss the Lumineers live at KFC Yum Center August 31st. Produced by Messina Touring Group and AEG Presents.
Discover family fun at Kentucky Kingdom. Soar through the air and splash under the sun for the best summer escape. Beat the heat in big waves or winding lazy rivers. And get soaked in a 4-story playground at Hurricane Bay. Enjoy big fun for little ones all day. Don't miss the new All-Star Stunt Dogs and a season full of fun. Season passes on sale now at KentuckyKingdom.com.
Down, set, 8, 1, 1, 8, 1, 1. The best
best football teams always get the call right, and you need to make the right call before you excavate. If you don't and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate, and you could be fined up to $1,250. So make the right call. Put safety first. Call 811 before you dig.
Touchdown! Oh my goodness!
This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. From 6-week certificates to 2 or 4-year degrees, there's an option for you. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
There are moments when doors of opportunity open. Moments when barriers are broken. Moments when you're called to provide hope for someone in need. Moments when you harness something deep inside. Moments when you're drawn to a cause greater than yourself. Moments when champions are born. At the University of Kentucky, this is who we are. This is what we do.
I'm Lieutenant Emily Horton with the Kentucky State Police Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division.
And I'm Trooper Janus Briscoe with the Kentucky State Police.
When working traffic in Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injuries or death is a tough part of our job.
When you're driving on Kentucky highways, there's so much out of your control.
But what we do have control over is wearing a seatbelt.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll keep rounds of rain in the forecast through the morning into the early afternoon. Pretty scattered across the region. Highs today getting into the mid-80s for many of us. Once we get into tonight, even more of those showers and thunderstorms moving through. Lows into the 60s and low 70s. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Woo! All summer.
This is the 105 Days of Summer. It's going to be the hottest summer yet. Woo! Brought to you by Midway Pharmacy.
Summer!
On the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.
Did you know the inventor of revolving doors did so because he hated opening doors for women?
Huh. Well,
that's not very...
I know. I'm glad he did it, but what a crappy reason. Rude.
I thought it was a cool reason, too. I enjoy opening doors. Not just for women, for people. Like, I'll hold the door for like anybody that comes. Now, I mean... Sometimes if you get to one and I can't get around you and you get there, I'm not saying you've never opened a door around me, because you obviously have. But I mean, if I can get to one quickly and it's practical, I get doors for you. But if I'm leaving a store and someone, it could be man or woman, is coming in, and like I can hold the door for you. So
yeah.
I don't know, like how poor of a human must you be to just go, I'm tired of opening all these doors for people.
I know, right?
We got to come up with some solution to that. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. So here's today's water cooler question. If you've not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win. We'll give you your choice of theme park tickets today. If you can be the first to solve the water cooler question by texting your answer to 270-259-6000 to 270-259-6000. And the question is this: 2 in 100 people say they've never washed this. 2 in 100 people say they've never washed this. What is it? Text your answer to 270-259-6000. You're not in the 2%. You're not in the 2. I'm not in the 2. I mean, I don't know this for certain, Whitney, but I'd be very surprised if you're one of the 2 in 100 people that have never washed this.
Oh, okay. Your third one's good.
And to be clear, earlier in the week, we were talking about washing armpits, and the correct answer is not armpits.
Oh.
So
Okay,
now your list is down to 2.
Yeah.
You were at 3, and now
I
you're
would
at 2.
almost say, well, never mind.
In Jeopardy news, Mayim Bialik and Ken Jennings will continue to keep splitting the host role. At least there's a solution to the ongoing question of which host, Mayim or Ken, will ultimately lead Jeopardy, and the answer is both. She will draw more of the plum assignments, and they will also work around her Call Me Kat schedule. Now, here's what I will be interested to see. For the last several months, when she hosts, Johnny Gilbert announces the host of Jeopardy, Mayim Bialik. When it's Jennings, he says, and now hosting Jeopardy is Ken Jennings. So will they change it? They've been saying Ken Jennings is the fill-in. He's hosting Jeopardy, but she's the host. If they're going to continue with both running parallel, do they change it to where they both get called the host, or they modify it to where Jeopardy fans must know? We got to know what's happening. Did you all know there's a reboot, a serial reboot on Amazon Prime of A League of Their Own?
I think I had heard something about that, but I haven't watched it.
It's 8 episodes. They all will be available on Amazon Prime starting August 12. I will tell you, I don't recognize the names of any of the actors playing any of the roles, whether it's the famous Gina Davis role, the Tom Hanks role, the Madonna role, the Rosie O'Donnell role, the Lori Petty role. I don't know anybody playing any of those, and maybe there's a reason that it's on Amazon Prime.
Maybe so.
Maybe it's, as my friend Charles would say, horrible.
Maybe.
Horrible. Live Nation is offering 4 tickets for $80, an all-inclusive, all-in package for thousands of summer concerts. So everyone's touring. In fact, I had a list yesterday of all the great 80s acts that are touring. There have never been more classic rock groups touring. But Live Nation is offering 4 tickets for $80, but here's kind of the catch. They're all what I would call Midlands. With everyone touring, concert dollars are getting stretched. Like they have to decide, all right, do I want to see this act or this act? I can't afford to do both. And so these acts that have already made commitments to tour, they're saying, all right, we got to sell some tickets. We got to put butts in seats and then rely upon the concessions to try and make this go. So don't expect anybody that you're going to climb over the next person to go see, but it's people like The Killers, Brandi Carlile, Demi Lovato, Smashing Pumpkins, Carly Rae Jepsen, The Black Keys, Bauhaus, Crowded House, Mudvayne. It's Courtney Barrett, Gaslight Anthem. It's people in that tier, because when you're out touring against the Eagles or Harry Styles or Def Leppard or whoever, you got to do something to try and stand out. So they're doing those ticket packages. All right, let's run through these. 1303 new pillowcase was the correct answer.
I said sheets.
1303 knew that pillowcase was the correct answer. You got to wash that pillowcase.
Yeah. I was going to say, I wash my sheets.
But I was right, though,
all of that at the
Whitney.
same time.
So you have washed your pillowcase, right? I knew.
When I wash my sheets, I wash my pillowcases.
I've never literally seen you do it. I've seen her do it, so that was my thing. So I felt pretty confident in saying it, but, you can't make assumptions because, bad things happen when you do that. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. We've got the Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, and Chart Toppers ahead. That's here on In the Know.
Becky Kinsey knew she had a problem the moment she stepped into the airport security line. She was a young mother, forced to travel alone with her young boys, aged 2 and 5. She was doing her best, but things got out of control, and she started to panic. And that's when another mom in line, near Becca, came to her rescue. She picked up one of Becca's boys and helped get her through security. Later at the gate, another mom stepped in and helped Becca on the plane. Then, when the boys started crying after takeoff, yet another mom came to Becca's rescue. She said, "You look like you need a break." Then she held the 2-year-old the rest of the flight and all the way to baggage claim, where Becca's husband was waiting. Each of those ladies had the right attitude. They reached out to a fellow mom in need and asked, "How can I help?" Traveling is only one of the many pressures moms face. You work when you leave the house in the morning, and you work when you come home at night. There's no such thing as a day off, and you probably go days without hearing as much as a "thanks, Mom." Who could understand what you go through better than another mom? And that's exactly the reason why every mother has an opportunity to be a force for good in the lives of other moms. You can keep an eye out for each other. You can lean on each other when you're hurting. Most of all, you can step into each other's lives when you need each other the most. For more to help you thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 877-64-BIBLE. That's 877-64-BIBLE. 877-64-BIBLE.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start August 15th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
We sell the best and fix the rest.
For new appliances at great prices, shop My Father's House in Clarkson. My Father's House has been a name you trust for great values on great brand names and appliances. Now during the cash and carry sale, get an Amana washer and dryer set for only $900 or a 21 cubic foot Whirlpool refrigerator for only $775.
We sell the best and fix the rest.
See Danny at My Father's House Monday through Friday from 10 to 2 on East Main Street, Clarkson.
Please leave a message at the beep.
Hey, it's me, your old pal Fun, checking back in. Listen, we gotta get back down to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. What do you say? Blasting out of the barn on Thunderbird, high-speed splashing on Cheetah Chase, and this summer, they've got a mind-blowing drone and fireworks show every night for 6 weeks. Tickets are still at holidayworld.com. Come on! Oh, the kids want to say something. Go ahead.
Free soft drinks, free parking, free sunscreen.
MB's point to ponder for today. This one might be a little hard. What was the best part of being a teenager? So we were just talking about camps and kids during the break. What was the best part of being a teenager? And so I'll start it off because I've known a little longer this was coming than you all have. But the thing that I came up with was the ignorance that you thought you had it all figured out, but you didn't know you didn't. But it was like, it's like, oh, I got it all figured out. Like the whole, your whole life's ahead of you. Anything can happen. It's just that lack of knowledge, that ignorance that you knew everything, and that goes away.
I would agree with that. The fact that you had that and you had a whole lot less responsibility as a teenager. I thought at the time, oh my gosh, I've got all of this stuff I have to do and all this responsibility. And I'm like, wait till you're 30, my husband and I literally have this conversation once a week about, when we were young, we used to think that our parents, when they were like 30 was old and 30 was, you had it all figured out. No.
I think it was probably
you fake it till you make it.
I mean, I agree with that, but I think it was probably the beginning of freedom for me. I knew. So if you are really saying teenage years, at 13, I was already staying home by myself. I was looking forward to driving, and I was moved out at 17. So I think for me, it was freedom, the beginning of freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, that ignorance, though, that real problems exist on the horizon, like just being that bliss. We talk about ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of that, and a lot of it exists during your teenage years. I was talking with, to your point, Whitney, I was talking with a friend of mine on Wednesday, and he has a daughter who is transitioning to college this fall, and he just kind of, he surmised that in her mind, she has more to do than anyone in the world.
I thought that way, too.
She's the only person to ever go from high school to college successfully, and that had several things to do in order to make that work. So we kind of tend to think we're busier than everyone else, and that's just part of the process, I suppose.
Yes.
On television tonight, we'll get to see Big Brother and then Challenge USA, the island of the walking sharks. Oh, sharks are walking now. Evolution's really really speeding up. And then Mysteries Decoded on the CW tonight. Today's highlight in history. This day, 1953, the Korean War armistice was signed at Panmunjom, ending 3 years of fighting. President Washington signed a measure establishing the Department of Foreign Affairs, which was the forerunner to the Department of State. He did that this date in 1789. Then in 1909, during the first official test of the U.S. Army's first airplane, Orville Wright flew himself and a passenger above Fort Myer, Virginia for 1 hour and 12 minutes. So the first military flight took place this date in 1909. 1909 seemed like before airplanes could fly.
Yeah.
In 2020, the world's biggest COVID-19 vaccine study began with the first of 30,000 planned volunteers helping to test shots. 10 years ago today, Britain opened its Olympic Games in celebration of Old England and New. I remember about that. Michael Phelps. I remember Michael Phelps in those games. That was kind of Michael Phelps' arrival.
Yeah.
And then during the opening ceremonies, they did James Bond. They did James Bond parachuting into the opening ceremonies, but they also had the stunt double who was dressed as Queen Elizabeth, and it looked like the Queen was paratrooping into the opening. I remember that for whatever reason. Simone Biles pulled out of the gymnastics team competition in Tokyo a year ago today. Birthdays today. Norman Lear is 100. Maureen McGovern is 73. Bill Engvall is 65. You think anybody will walk up to him today and say, "Here's your card"?
Maybe.
Here's your card. Maya Rudolph is 50. Alex Rodriguez is 47. Max Scherzer is 38 today. Is he a Dodger?
He was.
Okay. Jordan Spieth is 29 today. That's why I can't pronounce his name. He's a Dodger.
Does he play for the Mets? I don't know. Anyway, he pitches for somebody else now. He's got two different eye colors. That's how I remember.
The Mets won Game 1 of the Subway Series last night.
Yeah.
I was not very happy about it, but that's
sorry.
okay. Yankees and Mets are both really good. I mean, they're
good this year.
They could both meet in an actual Subway Series again. Gone but not forgotten. Alexander Dumas was born in 1824. Some people call him Dumas, and then some people call him something else, which I probably shouldn't say. Jerry Van Dyke was born in 1931. Chart toppers today. My chart topper machine broke just before this segment started, so.
Uh-oh.
Aw.
So Whitney is going to sing the chart toppers today. Yeah, okay. Bing Crosby, Swinging on a Star, 1944.
Okay.
If I even knew what it sounded like, I would sing it.
Would you rather be a mule? That's what he says. It's Been So Long by Webb Pierce in 1953. Johnny Get Angry by Joni Summers in 1962. Mr. Big Stuff, Gene Knight in 1971. Olivia Newton-John, Magic in 1980. Martika, Toy Soldiers in 89. Will Smith, Just the Two of Us in 98.
I can sing that one.
Hey There, Delilah, Plain White Tees in 2007. And the Chainsmokers featuring Daya, Don't Let Me Down, was number one 6 years ago today. Doesn't seem like the Chainsmokers have been around for 6 years.
I know.
So it's hard to believe. Thanks for coming.
Yes,
Glad you got to
glad
be
to be
here
here.
instead of throwing people in jail.
Yeah, well.
Whitney's been having jury duties.
Yeah,
She
just
doesn't
doing my civil duty.
Technically throwing people in jail, but she had the day off today, so she got to come here. And yeah, thanks for coming. See you again real soon. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Success isn't the result of the amount of time you put in, but the quality of time you put in. Success isn't the result of the amount of time you put in, but the quality of time you put in. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Whitney Carmen, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin